Hello, this is Nick from gardenandgreen.co.uk, and this is the latest video in a series where I'm using Google Street View to randomly go to different parts of the UK and to look at an area and to suggest something that could make the place more nature friendly, more green. And in some places there's a lot you can do, other places there are lovely areas and there's not that much you can do, but there's always something that you can do to improve somewhere. And in this case, we are in St Mary's Church in Hillington, which is in Norfolk. And it's actually on the very edge of the Sandringham estate where the Queen goes at Christmas. And this video isn't completely random because I was aware of this church because one of my great grandmothers was christened here. So anyway, looking at the church, you can see there's a real leafy country lane just to the left. There we go. And there's a lot of greenery all around it. There's a lot of big trees. But there's one thing that could be planted here that is often found in English churchyards, and that's a yew tree. Yew trees are often, some of the very oldest yew trees are found in churchyards because originally, before it was Christian, would have been pagan, and the pagans, like the Druids, really held yew trees to be sacred, etc. And so the Christians then built the church near the yew trees. So there's a long tradition going back over well over 1,000 years of churches having yew trees next to them. And so more modern churches, and when I say more modern, I mean Victorian, Georgian, a couple of hundred years old, would often plant a yew tree just because that's what was seen to be in a churchyard. And they also used to plant Irish yews, not always English yews or European yews, because an Irish yew is actually just a yew. They all apparently descend from one yew tree in Northern Ireland, and they originally come from a European yew, but it's sort of this variety is more upright. It's more like a column shape, so they often fit in better to especially if the church has got quite a small churchyard, but this one's quite big. But anyway, you could plant it here, or you could plant it to the left, or you could plant so maybe you could plant one near the door, and then maybe it's one here or one there, just near the entrances. Or alternatively, you could maybe plant the yew in one of these areas, and then maybe in this area here you could just maybe plant another native tree, possibly like a silver birch or an oak or an ash or something like that. But you probably wouldn't want to get one that's too bushy because you might start blocking the view of the church, and that would be a shame for anyone who's driving past. It's nice to see it. So I think a yew tree here would probably be the best, or maybe it's just to the left. Yeah, so a yew tree, as you can see, this picture here on Wikipedia is this yew tree here in Normandy in the churchyard. It's 1,600 year old. I mean, how spectacular is that? Obviously, that is really ancient, so it would never be. It would take many centuries for it to get that size. This one here is another very old one. They do get quite big, but the thing is, you can prune them. Even when they're that sort of size, they're quite easy to maintain if you don't want them to get huge, once they get to a certain size. And as I say, the Irish yews go straight up, and they've got sort of berries in the winter for birds, and good dense, it's a conifer obviously, and it's got dense cover for birds to nest in the spring. So yeah, that's what's this one here? There's actually a chapel in this one. Yeah, look at that. It's like a church inside the hollow over there, because I think when they get very old, they get a hollow centre to them. So yeah, that would be the tree. That's what it would look like when it was in the churchyard. But yeah, so that's the St Mary's Church in Hillington. Okay, so the last one I did was about Stromness in the Orkneys, completely different to this one. And then before that it was Hebden Bridge in West Yorkshire, a lovely Green Market Town, and then before that it was Chipping Camden High Street. See what I was suggesting there. And then the very first one was just a street in Bury in North Manchester, and they're all in the video section of this channel. Okay, so thanks for listening and goodbye.